Business 221 students, production management. How are you this week? Hopefully you're doing better than I am. My computer is still acting up, but I am recording and posting anyway. And I found another way around it, at least for now, till we get through to the end of the week. Hopefully, some of you have already turned in work, so hopefully you are able to access items on Blackboard. And we are using this week to kind of get caught up. So if you are still trying to finish up chapters 2 and 3, this week, chapter 4 is posted in Blackboard. And, we're looking at aggregate planning. I do have a short video there posted for you from week 4. So when you go into week 4, first you're going to want to look through week 4 of the text. There are a few things, that I touch on in the homework that are the most important parts of chapter 4. There is the aggregate planning video. There is a chapter 4 aggregate planning PowerPoint. The homework from chapter 4, right, is a little bit, if you're having trouble with the homework, make sure that you're going to right click on there's little dots and it will let you download it versus just pull it up. Same with the PowerPoint. And let's see, how many do I have for you? I have in the homework, I'm not sure why it looks goofy. Aggregate planning, I have a little blurb about what aggregate planning is, or AP, focuses on the shop floor inside a manufacturing plant. Now, some of you may have knowledge of this, some of you may have no knowledge of it, right? And so now is your chance to get acquainted with how operations managers work and how they deal with the workforce, right, from a management standpoint. And then the input-output transformation, right? All of the items going in, what is the process then it takes from all of the raw materials coming in and labor to then produce an end product, right? And so sometimes I'll visualize, it's easy to visualize like a car manufacturer, right? We see those all the time. They show them on the assembly plant or on the assembly line in a plant. So they get all the raw materials in, plastic and metals and pieces, and they form it all together on the assembly line with computers, with labor, with machinery, and it comes out the other end as a car, right? It's almost like an easy bake oven, and many of you know what that is, right? You make the materials, you put it through the oven, and it comes out the end product. So that's that whole input-output transformation process, and really planning the workforce around that. So just go through and, if you read through that chapter the first time to get acquainted with it, and then when you go back through and answer some of these key questions, these are really the questions that I'm looking for you to get the best understanding of. And so when we're thinking about the test toward the end of the term and also what you want to glean from this entire text, I'm trying to pull key components. You're not going to remember everything from the entire text, right? I don't expect that. You're not going to understand everything in the text, and that's okay as well. Just some key components. So try these 1 through 8. And then I have a short problem there for you that should be fairly straightforward. There's a couple examples in the text, and it talks about the demand and the production ratio, and just thinking about these numbers and kind of working through one. And then I give you a answer key on the bottom, or not an answer key, but kind of a way to fill it in, right? So if you see something like this, the formula is even there, the demand, right, of the job divided by the production rate, and that will give you then production capacity and standard hours. And so then you can figure out each one of these, and you can figure out a total, and then you can also figure out the total number of hours. So go ahead and try that one. I did give you a short note there. So you have 8 questions from this chapter for the homework. There's also this is one of our discussion posts this week, and I see as of today, hopefully all the students. So as of today, what is today? Tuesday. I'm still waiting to see a couple posts in there. And our discussion topic, at one time, the canning industry was totally dependent on harvest dates, right? If you think about it, back in the day, if you harvest corn, that was when the time of the year that you harvest corn, or that farmers harvest corn, and you wanted to make canned corn, so you canned it, right? You had to be ready when that corn was picked. So it's dependent on harvest dates. As a result, major workforce alterations occurred sporadically, right? Because maybe you wouldn't need people in the summer because corn was harvested in the fall. And so in that sense, so things were sporadic, right? Your workforce. And after careful study, steps were taken to smooth the demand patterns. What measures might have helped? So talk about how you might be able to smooth out and make it more efficient and effective from a demand standpoint, right? A couple examples might be, or one example might be, what if we turn to a lot more, we've turned a lot more to greenhouses, right? And different types, we've turned to seasonal growers. And so we might, the other thing is certain parts of the country, say we're just looking at the US, certain parts of the country have different climates, right? So they grow, we can engineer corn to be grown at different times of the year, so there'd be different harvest times, right? So we can keep our workforce kind of moving year round. So any of those would work. If you Google you can Google these. I don't care if you use the Google because you're still doing work to find the answer, right? If you reference something, go ahead and put it there in your response. So I'm looking forward to seeing a few of these. As always, if you are having any difficulty with something, just A, you can try your best, right? And then B, if you're really feeling like you're not sure what to do, reach out to me. You can text me 814-490-6473 or email me crobertson@ec3pa.org if you are having any difficulties. And remember, you want to make sure you get points. You don't want to just skip a discussion. If there's something that you've missed earlier, or homework or discussion, make sure that you're getting caught up this week because missing those points, you're missing entire percentage points for the course grade. Right? And even if you turn something in late or maybe isn't exactly what I'm looking for, you still get some points. Or I'll reach out to you and say, hey, can you add a little more to this? Or this wasn't what I was looking for. Could you do it in this fashion? So all of those things, just reach out to me if you are having any issues. And as soon as possible, reach out to me. If you're not having issues, wonderful. Keep up the good work. We're almost halfway through the course. And then that's it, right? We go do 4 weeks. We're halfway through. We do 4 more weeks, and then we're done. I know things get busy now. The holiday season starts to come upon us. And just remember, we'll have 4 more weeks after this, and then you have a large break where you will not have classes so that you can take a breather, right? Have a wonderful afternoon, and I will reach back out to you probably later in the week to make sure everybody is keeping up with the work and moving forward.